Today we are going to be going over the T42U model phone. We'll discuss how to put this phone together, what the initialization process looks like, what all the buttons on your phone do, and how to perform basic functions such as call transfers. So when you first get this box, you're going to unwrap it and you'll see that it comes with the device itself, a desk phone stand, a handset with a handset cable, an Ethernet cable, and a power cable. So to start off with, you're going to want to slide the desk phone stand into the back of the device. Just slide it to the right and you'll hear it lock into place. After that, you can connect the handset cable into the handset port. Now you want to make sure you're plugging it into the correct port here. The handset port has a little phone icon above it. There is also a port here for a headset, indicated with a headset icon, so you'll want to make sure that you're plugging it into the correct handset port. After that, you'll plug your Ethernet cable into the phone's internet port and the power cable into the DC slot. We typically are going to recommend a direct Ethernet connection as it's going to offer the most stability and isn't prone to the same network fluctuations that can sometimes occur with Wi-Fi. However, if you have an external dongle and would like to connect your phone to Wi-Fi, you can absolutely do so, and the phone should function properly as long as you have a strong network. You may also notice that there is a PC port here as well. This is for something called daisy chaining. So daisy chaining is essentially the process of using your phone as a switch to supply internet to both your computer and your phone using the same internet connection. To do this, you'll connect one Ethernet cord from your network source to the internet port on the back of the phone, and you'll use a second Ethernet cord that's going to run from the PC port on the phone into your computer. After that's finished, you can flip the phone over and you should see its initialization screen. This may take 10 to 15 minutes. After that, it'll start searching for the network, and when it's finished, it's going to pop up with the E911 address. After you press OK there, it's going to show the phone's time and date. If there are any errors here, such as no service or invalid account, first check your network connection to make sure that everything is connected properly. If the errors persist, it may be a firewall setting that's preventing the phone from registering, and you may need to contact your IT team for assistance. Masters Telecom does offer a network configuration guide along with the site tool test provided by Verizon Wireless, which can further diagnose any issues you may run into. Now we're going to take a look at the phone itself. To start off with here, we have our number pad. So this is going to be for entering phone numbers as well as for entering characters. So if you're creating a speed dial, saving a contact, anything like that, you'll want to use the number pad to do so. You can see that you have the corresponding letters with the numbers here, and you also have the asterisk key, which is where you'll find any special characters such as exclamation points or ampersands. Moving on over here, we have our directional arrows. These are for navigation. So if you're in the menu or the call history side or the features or anywhere where you need to get around, you're going to want to use these arrow keys to do so, not the keys on the left and right hand side of your phone. Your center OK button is your enter key. You can also press it from the home screen to pull up your phone status. And this little X button is your back or exit button. You can also press and hold this from the home screen and it'll prompt you to restart your phone. Volume button here. If the phone is just sitting idle, this will adjust the sound of the ringtone. If you're on an active call, it will adjust the sound of that call. And if you're on speaker, it will adjust the sound of the speaker. And your speakerphone is this little megaphone over on the bottom right above the Yealink logo. Microphone with a line through it is your mute key. So if you're on the phone with someone and you don't want them to hear you for whatever reason, you can put that call on mute and they will not hear you until you take them off of mute. This does glow red when it's pressed, and you will also see on the screen that the call is muted. Headset icon here is for headset mode. So these phones do have that headset port in the back, so if you wanted to connect a headset, you could do so, and you could enter or exit headset mode with that little headset icon. Envelope button here is for setting up your voicemail. So these phones don't come with voicemail already pre-set up. You will need to set up your mailbox. But all you need to do is press that envelope key and it'll walk you through creating your password and setting up your custom greeting. After you've done this, you can call into your mailbox at any time by pressing that envelope key. When you have a message, you'll have a blinking red indicator light at the top of your phone, and you will also see on the display that you have a voicemail and a missed call. Lastly, we have these two arrows here. This is your redial or call history key. You also have call history on the bottom left of your phone's display. From your call history, you can actually select certain items, and if you hit option, you can choose to add this number to your contacts or block the number by adding them to your blacklist. Those contacts will be housed in your directory. So you'll have a local directory, a remote directory, and a blacklist. Your local directory is any contacts that you have manually added. The remote directory is pushed out from the OneTalk portal and typically includes like your company directory and any virtual extensions you may have set up. The blacklist is any numbers that you have blocked. D&D stands for Do Not Disturb. This will send all your calls to voicemail. It will look like this on the screen when it's pressed, so you'll know if you've accidentally left it on. And then in the menu is where we have our settings. So if you go into settings here, you see that there's basic and advanced. Basic settings are for your things like language, time and date, display, sound, and if you have an external USB dongle, you can also connect to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Advanced settings is password protected, but the only thing you would need to do in here is factory reset your phone. And if you're at that point, you're most likely speaking with Verizon support or Masters Telecom support. But if you do need to factory reset your phone, you would just go in here to reset configuration and then reset to factory settings. On the left-hand side of your phone, you'll see your extension listed 3 times. Those are your phone's 3 individual lines. So you can be on 3 active calls at one time, and you can bounce between them with these 3 buttons. So if you're on one call, you'll have a green indicator light showing that that call is active. If another call were to come in, you would see it flash across the second line, and you would also have options at the bottom of the screen to accept, silence, or reject that call. On the right-hand side, we have features, which is where you'll find things like call forwarding and intercom. So if you wanted to set your phone to forward somewhere else, you could go into features, call forward, and enable the always call forward. We also have an empty space here and this 1, 2, 3 button. This 1, 2, 3 button will bring up additional pages of empty spaces. These are yours to kind of do with whatever you'd like. So if you press and hold the soft key next to one of those, it'll come up with a screen that'll allow you to switch the line type from NA to something like speed dial. Now when you're actually on a call, it's going to look a bit like this. So you can see here that we have this green light showing that the call is active, and then the buttons across the bottom have changed. So typically you'll have hold, transfer, park, and more, which is where you'll find end call and conference. If you want to place a call on hold, you can just press the hold key. Now keep in mind that this will only place the call on hold on your specific line. If you need to place this call on hold on someone else's line or allow someone to remotely retrieve that, you'll want to use the park function. So you'll want to do that by pressing park. You'll then hear instructions that tell you to enter the phone number or extension where you want to park that call, followed by the pound sign. You can also park it against your own line just by pressing pound. Once that call is parked, that person will have an audible and visual notification on their phone so that they can retrieve it. If this call needs to be remotely retrieved, you can do so from any OneTalk device by dialing **88, followed by the extension it's parked at and the pound sign. Now, one of the key differences between transferring and parking is that if you transfer a call to someone and they don't answer, it's going to go to their voicemail. But if you park a call on someone's line and they don't get to it, it's going to roll back to you when that time frame is up. By default, that time frame is going to be 45 seconds, but you can adjust this up to 10 minutes from within the OneTalk portal. Moving on to call transfers. So to transfer a call, you'll just need to press that transfer button. You do not need to place the call on hold first, and we actually recommend that you don't. So all you'll need to do is press transfer, enter the phone number that you wish to send that call to, and then choose direct or consult. A direct transfer is just going to send it directly to that person, whereas a consultative transfer allows you to announce the call before sending it over. So if you're doing a direct transfer, after you hit direct, you're finished. For a consultative transfer, there is an additional step. After you hit consult, it's going to call that person, and you'll just need to press transfer again to finish sending it over to them. Our last item here is going to be conference calls. So for a conference call, when you're on your first active call, you're just going to open up a second line. So you'll press one of those other line keys, and that'll automatically put that first call on hold. So open up a second line, enter the phone number that you would like to bring in, and then once they answer, you're going to press that more key and then press conference. That'll merge those 2 calls into one. You can have up to 6 people in one conference call, including yourself. So if you would like to bring someone else in, you would just do those same steps again. Open up another line and then more conference. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. If you have any other questions about the functionality of your device, please contact your Masters Telecom representative for additional assistance.